Hi, my name is Alexandra, and I'm an SRE engineer on VMware's Tanzu SaaS Reliability Enablement team, or as we like to call ourselves, TSRE. And I'm here to talk with you regarding how we achieve reliability internally using SLOs. Before we begin, I'd like to tell you a little bit about me. I've been at VMware for almost 3 years. I've also worked at a startup called DMIT and IBM Cloud, where I focused on on premise as well as hybrid cloud Kubernetes environments. So, I guess I would like to say that I do enjoy coupling the practice of reliability engineering with cloud native and Kubernetes ecosystems. So, let's talk SLOs. A service level objective, as defined by the practice of reliability engineering, is a target value or range of values for a service level that is measured by a service level indicator or an SLI. So, if we define reliability engineering as being the systemic application of best engineering practices and techniques to make more reliable products, then our SLIs and our SLOs are what's going to be the two things that we put in place in order to quantify that reliability. Let's pose the question: what percentage of the time is your system functioning without failure? If we take a look at the formula depicted here, it reads that X should be true, our SLI, Y proportion of the time, our SLO, or else something is going to happen, our SLA. If we consider logging into an organization system and loading the home page, we might say, I want my home page to return to my customer in under 5 seconds, 99.9% of the time, or else we're going to owe that customer X amount of dollars for X amount of minutes that we were not able to meet that goal. In order to create quality SLOs, it's going to require you to do four things: become customer centric, understand your system boundaries, build and maintain quality SLIs, as well as reliably manage your SLOs. And when we say reliably manage your SLOs, that's from a technical standpoint, and I'll go into that in just a few minutes. Becoming customer centric is knowing and understanding your customer, their personas, and the journeys that they take when interacting with your system like the back of your hand. Understanding your system boundaries is understanding how the underlying system works together to offer some support to that external customer. So if we go back to the example of logging into an organization's website and then retrieving your homepage, well, logging into that website is the journey that the customer is going on, but the underlying components within your system that work together in order to provide that piece of functionality to the customer is going to be an example of understanding those different system boundaries. Good SLOs are also going to require you to have accurate and reliable SLIs. This also puts more emphasis on why we need to understand the customer, the journey, as well as the different personas that are using or going on these different journeys, and understanding our system boundaries. Reliably managing your SLOs. In order to effectively adopt reliability practices, we're going to need to procure and build tooling that's going to support our reliability organization, as well as the engineers that are using these processes and building out our services. So let's dive a little deeper into reliably managing your SLOs. This means we're going to need to put the practice of reliability into place on ourselves or onto an internal team that acts as subject matter experts in this area, which is something that my team internally does. So the first step is SLO dashboarding. So, how do we identify tooling that's going to support technical documentation of our SLOs in a reliable way that meets our targeted needs? For us, we internally use Aria Operations for applications. You'll hear me say Aria Apps as our tooling of choice. One, it provides us the ability to create internal feedback loops with our SaaS engineering teams that we're supporting, and it also provides us the space to ensure that we know our product and that we're catching any issues or any improvements that can be made before it's reaching the customer. So SLO dashboarding is definitely going to be important because you want to do it in a way where you're documenting and maintaining what's going on and you have a way to react to these things, which brings me to SLO alerting. So we all in distributed environments that we're working in today, it's important that we loosely couple monitoring and alerting systems so that we're able to support change or support any future needs of scaling. So working in a tech space, we know that change is always going to happen, and sometimes scale also needs to happen. So we want to do things in a way that things are not tightly coupled to one another, and we're also still able to focus on that user experience. So our tooling of choice is Aria Apps due to it provides these pieces of functionality within the system for us. In addition to that, we also support other organizations. If your organization has these tools in place, then it's important for you to build those relationships and create those feedback loops and dog food your internal product, as well as understand what's available in the open source community. If you work within the cloud space, then it's going to be important to understand what else is in the industry so that you understand what your competitors are offering, or if there is a free solution and there's an opportunity to build that into your internal products, then your product teams or any engineers that identify that opportunity can report it back internally so that we're not losing our customers or we're not missing out on opportunities to support our customers' needs. SLO tooling is another area that needs to be focused on. So, are we building tooling that enables collaboration, version control, and reverting changes when necessary? So we need to treat our process the same way that we would treat our SLO code. In our instance, we did build out a Terraform module that's very opinionated that we use to interact with Aria applications. So instead of going into the UI and submitting changes to our dashboards, how do we do it in a way where engineers can collaborate? If something on a dashboard is changed and we need to roll that change back, are we able to do that? Frameworks and feedback loops. We need to constantly identify gaps and create solutions to increase engineering speed. So, an example would be one of our internal projects where there were SLIs that needed to be created, but the data didn't exist. So, how do we go about creating a framework and utilizing that framework to create data whenever we run into a team or an instance or whatever the case may be where that data doesn't already exist, but we can populate synthetic data for it? So this area is where I like to say we need to put on that DevOps hat. We need to get into that space of automating things, not just the tooling, but also our processes. So how can we build out this process that when we have a SaaS engineering team that is coming and interacting with us, they can replicate whatever that piece of functionality or behavior is without having to go through this long and drawn out process. And last but not least, incident management and command system. So you need to align your incidents with what your dashboards are reporting. For us, this was leaning on and improving our current incident management process in order to align what the customer is reporting through our incident management channels with what is actually happening in our SLI dashboards. So the opportunity that exists here is how can I utilize my dashboards and look at something such as error budget burn and predict that an incident might happen? And we can only do these things if we build out our process in a way that we're able to align it with what is actually happening within our incident management space. So if we keep these 5 areas of focus when we're thinking about technically managing our SLOs, then we're only on a path to produce a quality experience that helps us to maintain our external SLAs or service level agreements, our commitments with our external customers. If you would like more information or to go deeper into these topics, you can reach out to me on Slack, email, or find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram. Thank you.